Now,
Trust them.
have
I don't trust them.
I know Alex, you've played it, but Matt, have you played the
Huh.
things?
Hey, why is
Have
she
you played
above?
Have you played this chapter already, Matt?
Is that the same glitch that you found, Matt?
No, this is different than my computer.
Oh.
Her trust is through the roof.
She really wants us now, boys.
It's off the charts.
Well, Liza's still like slightly below Beth, I'm pretty sure, and Beth is dead. That's pretty sad.
I think they're about equal.
Yeah.
They're about equal, but I'm pretty sure Liza's less. Just go up pixel by pixel, you'll see. Also, why does Ray like us so much? I feel like we've done nothing.
They're the
for him.
same. We defended him against his ex, remember?
Shh, dude, I'd take Ty on an idiot. By the way, I forgot every voice.
We're back!
We are, technically.
Yeah, woo.
I wonder if these are okay.
long
Good, they're still
wait.
here. Yeah,
For
the
Arc 2.
slash. Oh, mama.
Wait.
Jinx.
Wait, aren't we doing 25 first?
We've done
We
did
20.
already did
25.
25.
Slash it is. Let's
Go.
go. Slash, let's do it.
Give
We
it
wouldn't
the
have
times.
26 open if we didn't do 25.
Okay, fine, true.
Who are you?
I just thought it would show 26 and 27. I don't know.
You play more video games than any of us. How do you not know how...
I don't play visual novels.
What are you, uncool? Come on, visual novels of the future, buddy.
Oh yeah, that's what everyone's talking about.
Dude, what's wrong with
I
you?
think this is the only one.
I'm waiting for the Apex Legends visual novel to come out.
Wouldn't that just be like a porno?
Yeah,
Like
probably.
hentai or something?
Wave of the future, baby.
Let's get it started.
Alright.
This is probably the only visual novel that isn't like that, to be honest.
Apex Legends?
No, Exit Corner.
Alright, do you guys remember the dynamic? On how we
I
do
remember
this?
someone was... Oh, the
I'm
dynamic.
Aether slash, how Brian pronounced
Yeah,
it.
yeah, we'll do a run.
I think he means how we do the roll call.
I mean, yeah.
Is it?
But
Well, Chris does the previously on Exit Corners.
we'll
And
do
then-
that in a minute, Henry. I don't remember the
God,
voice.
jumping.
Yeah, this time let's actually do the previously on because I really don't remember what
Man,
happened.
you're really gonna make it. Alright, well, Henry. you're
Yeah,
gonna have some talking
you
to
really
do.
should. Oh god.
Remember, it's
Well,
always
this
in
good
I'm
forms.
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, we can do
I'm
it.
not, I need
Beth
that.
was killed by someone in the group.
You guys want to do it?
Please don't skip
You,
that.
you probably should, so that way there's no loose holes in your guys' memory.
Okay.
Beth was killed by someone in the group. Aether was blind and I was right. And what else do we need to know?
Liza was
wasn't
blind, you dingus.
Liza, wow.
Okay. Roll call.
Maybe you
Alex,
need
Present.
Brian,
Hello.
Zach.
Zach?
Alright, Zach couldn't
Zach?
be with us today.
Zach?
Henry.
a here.
Hey, give me your ink voice.
Here.
That's very good representation.
Totally.
Thank you.
What are we gonna do about that?
That's Liza.
Shit.
Yeah, he fell right back into the
Alright, we're
groove without a
screwed.
problem.
Alright, we're screwed. Alright. Matt's here. Matt just laughed.
Yeah.
I'm also here.
What are we
Alright.
gonna do? I don't. I'll work on it.
Just see me ink a million times.
By the way, the dynamic that I was referring to was that, I don't know, previously you guys had garbage mics, so I don't know if you still need to mute before you talk. I have no idea how you are now.
I
It's
mean, am I
exactly-
cutting out?
I mean,
Like, I
this
was
is
on my
the first
phone,
video
that's
we
what I said before.
posted where I have my headset.
Should be fine then. Maybe not Alex, but we should
Yeah.
be fine.
I should be fine too. Have I cut out yet?
No.
Yes.
Then I should be fine.
I'll keep my
I
eyes
guess I'm
out in
cutting
case
out then.
like you hear me breathing or whatever. So, and it is the same mic, so yeah. Like that.
Alright, ready?
Let's get
Yeah,
the
sure.
spread.
Yeah, sure.
Chapter 26. Slash.
Oh, like exit slash. I get it.
Haha! Chapter 26 slash. This takes longer than I remember. Is it? Am I supposed to?
It's for suspense.
Do the recap.
Doing,
Yeah, that was
are we
pretty much
doing
that's
it?
pretty much the voice.
Yeah,
Please
let's
do.
do
Yes,
it.
Alright,
please.
Matt
please
wants
do
us
it.
to do it, so we'll do it.
Thank you.
Not because you want to.
Sean's
Sean
gone.
was dead.
First line and Brian's already interrupting it.
God damn it.
Okay.
That makes 2 contestants that exit / corners his claim. Is that it? Is that like
Yeah,
it?
you're good.
Alright.
Roll credits.
So much happened so quickly. I'll try my best to recap.
Thanks.
You're welcome. We were stuck in that sewer, and one of us had to sacrifice themselves so that the others could escape.
With porn music playing in the background.
Sexy saxophone music. You remember that, right? The saxophone.
I remember that saxophone well.
Sen had left a clue for us somewhere in that room. I was hesitant to look for it at first, but some of the other contestants were searching for it. For some reason, during our search, I passed out again. That's when I got to talk to them again. That voice.
Why did you say them? It's only one person.
Well,
Am I supposed to do a double voice when I do that?
thank you.
Maybe because they don't know the gender of the voice.
Nah.
Oh,
gender-
they don't know the pronouns. They don't want to attend the class.
It's
Alright.
2019, people. Jeez.
It's the current year. They told me a bit about themselves and about the Four Elements Hotel as well. They had some connection to the owner of the hotel. The real hotel, that is. Not whatever this is. Shortly after waking back up, we found the clue. It was a braille message. As you might have guessed, it was addressed to Liza. I couldn't read the thing, but apparently it said that Liza would lose her sight if she left the Four Elements. It drove Liza into a defiant rage. She instantly decided that she'd be the one to stay behind to free the others. We tried talking her out of it, even though that meant one of us had to stay behind instead, but none of us could get through to her. None of us except Sean.
Sean!
He offered to take her place. She accepted, and... well, that's that. I don't really want to talk about it any more than I have to. And as shitty as it all is, that's only the second most important thing that happened in the last half hour. You see, one of the things that voice told me was that some of the doors in this hotel were unlockable from the outside. Not all of them, but
I mean, Brian's gone.
using this info, I was able to break into the washroom near where Beth was killed. Inside was the weapon used to murder Beth, an ordinary painting ripped right off the wall outside. Ergo, Scent, who does have a physical body, could not have killed her. Meaning that someone else killed her. One of us contestants. ... I've never been one to dwell on the possibility of an afterlife. But I hope such a thing exists, and I hope that Beth is watching. Because I'm going to find out who killed her.
Dun dun dun. Are you sure?
Thus,
Is it not possible that it is still Sen's fault somehow?
Putting aside the fact that Scent can't physically interact with us without using electronics, this is unlike anything Scent's ever done. He didn't make a big show of it. He didn't even tell us that she'd be killed. And then he doesn't even mention it? What?
Sorry, I couldn't mute my mic. So.
Oh. Oh, I thought I did something wrong.
Oh no, I just really had to clear my throat, and I didn't want to interrupt you.
Alright, fair enough.
Well then, Could it have been someone else entirely? An eighth person?
I hesitate to use the word impossible, but I find it highly unlikely that someone's been hiding from us this whole time. There's no evidence to support it. It had to have been one of us.
I understand, but I don't want to believe that one of us is capable of murder. Brian.
The time for wishful thinking is over. We have to look at facts.
How are you late to your first lion?
My internet decided to go wonky,
Okay.
so I left and joined on my phone, and then that internet was going wonky, so I had to exit out of the home and we're using my phone. Been suspicious of Beth's death from the start, but I'd never have suspected this.
Yeah, this is quite the find. It does beg the question, though. How did you unlock the door, Ink?
Well, I can't very well admit that a voice in my head told me. What's an easy cover-up? Scent told me. He's spoken to me privately a number of times, and it turns out that he dropped a few hints in there. I only pieced everything together a few moments ago, don't interrupt me.
Isn't that gonna make the building go boom?
Maybe. We'll see. I see. Liza, who hadn't spoken a word since leaving her corner, suddenly perked up. Aside from a pair of bloodshot eyes, her bearing was back to normal.
I guess all this talk about murder jolted her out of her melancholy. Same as me, kinda. It's awful, but convenient. So one of us 5 contestants is a murderer, then? Not quite. From where I'm sitting, it could only have been one of 4 people.
Aether.
Oh, so you're including everyone but yourself? No, I'm including everyone except for me and you. You and I were in the stone hallway when Beth was murdered. We're the only 2 contestants with someone to vouch for them. That leaves Aether, Ray, Tiana, and Sean, technically. As far as I'm concerned, Liza, you and I are the only people who are free of suspicion.
That's easy for you to say. Who's to say that you didn't conspire? Flippin' stuttering.
Oh, you didn't even finish it.
Screw you.
You gotta keep in mind that Ink was the one to find the murder weapon. If he wanted to keep us from finding out, why would he have brought it up in the first place? Unless this is all part of some crazy gambit, which I find highly unlikely.
You guys remember Gambit from X-Men?
Of course I remember an X-Men character. He's the guy that throws the card.
Just wanted to
He was
point
in
that
the worst of the series.
Whatever. You're all far too trusting for your own good.
I want to go over what I think happened, but first, how about we head over to the next room? If this wing follows the same pattern as all the others, it ought to be a bar of some kind. This could take a while, so we should probably have a seat.
And a cold one, you feel that?
Crack
Yeah,
a cold one
crack
with
it
the boys.
open, yeah. Except most of us are females here, technically.
There's only one other boy. Crack a cold one with the boy, of course.
Well, to be fair, it's 3 to 5.
And he's also lost an
Sure.
arm. He shouldn't be drinking
Yeah.
alcohol.
I'll do what I...
Sure.
Wordlessly, the contestants began to make their way through the door.
Oh, Ink. So what's the plan? This is usually the part of the story where the detective rounds everyone up, goes over the facts, and names a culprit. But I'm no detective. Not really. I don't even know where to begin.
I mean, we all know who it is.
I mean, we should probably start by laying everything out like you said. We might be able to piece something together. Yeah, I guess that's our best call. I know you're innocent, so I'm counting on you to help me out, okay? It's not like I've got a choice. I appreciate it. Let's go then.
Wait, question.
Yes.
Who do you guys think did it?
Oh, me?
All
You guys includes you, yes, Brian.
It has to be Aether.
You just hate Aether.
I'm just saying, look at Ray and Tiana, not Ray, Sean and Tiana were together in the other wing of the hotel. Ray is missing an arm and couldn't have that power to lift something over his head and slam it on something. Aether's the only one that's any logic.
Fair enough.
Do you two also think it's Aether?
I'll go with
I was just
Brian's
gonna go with-
logic.
I was just gonna go with Tiana, because who cares, but you know.
Yeah, I'd also go with Tiana, because it's like, who is this stupid broad? Get her out of
Yeah,
here.
she just got here, you know?
Okay, well, let's keep going.
Ink made his way into the next room. Just as he'd suspected, it was a tightly packed bar. Quiet, save for idle foot. Is that a saying? Like, quiet,
Yeah.
save?
Well, just
save-
something
save
save.
for. It's like
Please
accept.
I have never heard that before.
Really?
Never.
Wow.
I really like the phrase.
I don't read books.
How do you like a phrase?
It's a very sophisticated but also simple phrase. Moving on.
Moving on. Quiet save for idle footsteps and the dull groan of the monitor. The other contestants were pacing about the room.
Looks like they were sent to the principal's office.
There's a puzzle on the monitor.
Surprise.
A puzzle, you say?
We're just going in? Okay.
Let's go. Let's
Nah.
get into it. You know what? You know what? You know what? Nah.
I don't wanna. You guys
No.
can do it.
Not right now.
Now's not the time for that.
Why you gotta troll us? Come on.
We're not going anywhere until we figure out who killed Beth. You got me
What if
fucked
we
up
can't
now.
figure it out? We just gonna give up on escaping?
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. First, let's get all of our facts straight. Right. Where was everyone when Beth was killed?
I was solving a puzzle in the Blackwing with Sean.
Right, he'd mentioned. Were you and Sean ever separated during that time?
Not that I remember.
How convenient that Sean's no longer around to corroborate your story.
Immediately pipes in.
Whoa, did Aether just get accusatory?
My bad. Hold on. Okay.
No.
You're one to talk considering your alibi is the weakest.
Finger pointing can wait until we've laid everything out. You're up next, Aether. Where were you when Beth was killed?
I was searching the other rooms in the same hallway. I started with the doors on the left, got to the end of the hallway, and looped back around on the right and entered on... Yeah, until I entered the room with Beth's body.
That's about 10 or so rooms. Obviously, you had to come back out into the hallway after searching each one. And yet you didn't see or hear anything suspicious that whole time?
Nothing. Not until I saw the body, anyway. Oh, though there was that earthquake when I entered the final door on the left side, but everyone must have felt that.
Yeah, the earthquake was Ink's fault, by the way.
Thanks for selling us out. I appreciate it.
No, it was kind of just sent being stupid.
Gee, thanks.
That leaves me, I guess. I was missing an arm.
Sure does. Where were you again?
I was lying down in one of the other rooms in the same hallway. The first one on the left, actually. I was trying to rest a bit. Beth had suggested it.
thinks. So if I'm interpreting things correctly, the killer entered the hallway, ripped the painting off the wall, went into the hotel room, and killed Beth with a single blow to the back of the head. Then they must have opened the locked door with the same trick that Ink used, and he tossed the painting in there, thinking no one would find it. Not that there was really anywhere else to hide it. What's more is that they've had to do that without being spotted by Aether, who was constantly in and out of the hallway. Wouldn't that have taken some crazy good timing?
Not necessarily.
Oh, we're picking up. Whew. I like this part.
What do you mean?
If Aether had done it, she wouldn't have had the time She wouldn't have had to time anything. She'd have plenty of time to kill Beth without worrying about anyone noticing.
Ray?
Cut the stammering. I always thought you were shit.
You really think it was her, after all we've been through?
Don't let your personal bias cloud your judgment. We've known her for less than a day.
And you think she did it solely because she had the best opportunity?
That's part of it, sure. But there's an even bigger reason I suspect Aether. She never mentioned the missing painting.
The murder weapon? What about it?
Yeah, what gives? I noticed the missing painting myself, we probably all did. But it didn't seem strange enough to comment on. This hotel's got smoke-filled bars and rooms with huge cracks in the walls. I didn't think a missing painting was that out of place.
True, but you gotta remember that there were two people who had seen the painting on the wall before it was ripped off. Beth herself, Aether. So why didn't you mention the painting was missing when we were going over Beth's murder?
Honestly, I didn't notice. It's not like I spent a lot of time looking at the thing. Heck, I didn't even notice it had a glass cover until after Ink found it in the washroom.
That's a weak excuse and you know it.
My brain didn't even register that it was missing until Ink found it again. I can be a little scatterbrained sometimes, but I'm not a murderer.
Ugh, it was an honest mistake. Or was it really her?
Besides, wouldn't you have seen the painting too? You were also in the hallway before the painting had been torn off.
I had been in the hallway before, sure, but only while I was having one of those bleeding attacks. I wasn't exactly able to take my surroundings.
Yeah, I remember that. Beth guided you into that hall and then presumably into one of the hotel rooms.
Exactly. So the only person who might have noticed that the picture was missing is Aether.
That is pretty fishy.
Also, for what it's worth, I don't think Tiana would do a thing like this. Unlike Aether, I know Tiana pretty well. She ain't a good person, but I don't think she'd kill someone.
Didn't we say personal bias clouding judgment?
Yeah, I know.
He was the one
Yep.
that said that, actually.
Yep, he was. That leaves Aether as the only possibility.
What do you have to say about that, Aether?
I can understand why Ray thinks I did it, and I think it's mature of him to look past his grievances with Tiana and decry her innocence. Which is too bad, because I know Tiana was lying.
What? Why do I look like... What?
I'm happy I don't have to talk
Mom
about
it,
it.
apparently.
What?
Okay.
You said that you and Sean never split up, but I'm not buying it. Like I said before, he's no longer around to back you up. When we asked him, he said you were solving the puzzle together, not that you never split up. You were the one who added that bit. I'm not sure that it would be. I'm sure it would have been easy to excuse yourself for a moment.
Can we point out the music again? It's pretty lit. You're pulling at straws. Even if I did split up from Sean, which I didn't, by the way, that means I'd only have had, what, 3 or 4 minutes to run over to the Blue Wing and murder somebody? Hypothetically, if Sean and I had been separated for more than a few minutes, he certainly would have mentioned it. Am I wrong? Am I right, people?
Well, it's true that you'd only have had a few minutes to carry out the murder. That's exactly why I think it was you.
Huh? What are you getting at?
Ugh, this ought to be rich.
The weapon was hidden by someone who was in a hurry. Even if the weapon was hidden by someone who knew the trick about the locks, it was still hidden right next to the body itself. If I or even Ray were responsible, we'd have had the time to hide the weapon in a more secure location.
Such as?
One of the other washrooms in the hall, or somewhere in the study, anywhere else really.
It was still behind a locked door. Maybe they thought it'd be fine.
It still is just one measly mechanical lock. Don't forget that we have someone who can easily pick locks. What's more was that there was zero attempt to clean up the crime scene in any way. I think it's a clear sign that the culprit was short on time.
You're delusional. This is all just conjecture based on assumption that Sean and I split up at some point, but we didn't.
You say that, but I've got a strong hunch that the two of you split up briefly.
Guys,
Yeah,
guys, pause.
we shall pause. Apparently.
Okay, thanks.
Hey, future Chris, or Henry, I don't know who anymore. Cut this.
I could use this.
We'll see.
Someone make like a really loud noise so it shows up and
And now
Alright.
our full screen production value has been increased.
center it. There we go.
That's nice.
Oh, mama, we're getting into winning. Alright, you ready? Would you like me to restate this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. I don't even know if you said it.
I don't know, actually. A hunch? That's it? This is a joke.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Ink?
She's obviously referring to her clairvoyance, but that can power hers be trusted? Can she be trusted?
Besides, she and Sean both appeared later than the rest of us. Don't tell me that's not super suspicious.
Are you seriously going to believe a mere hunch, Ink?
I haven't decided yet.
If you let her pull the wool over your eyes, things aren't going to end well for any of us.
I take it you think Aether's the culprit?
Oh, no. She may have a few screws loose, but she's too weak to have killed anyone, both physically and mentally. Besides,
Ooh,
I know for a fact that Ray was the one that... Really? Ray? Okay.
oh yeah.
The man
I'm
without the arm.
nearly dying.
With
Nearly
the
dying.
Beth.
The fuck? You're gonna end up in a. You're gonna up and accuse me after I vouch for you? I'm not going in my regular voice.
She has nice nostrils. Look at those nostrils.
You've noted this before.
I know, but they're so flared. Like you said, we've known each other for a long time. I know full well what you're capable of. Is that a sexual joke? Never mind.
What makes you think that Ray did it?
First of all, he was in a great position to run into Beth's room and kill her. He claims he was resting, but nobody knows what he really was up to in that room. He could have easily been listening through the door, waiting for Aether to leave the hall so that he could make his move. His room, the room where Beth was found, and the painting were all relatively close to one another. It'd have been no problem even for someone with a missing arm.
You seriously think I'd kill Beth after she saved my life?
Oh, I have no idea why you did it. But you've killed before. You have it in you to do it again.
What?
Wait, what?
Nah, people. Not on purpose.
What then? What did you do, Ray?
I was a hunter.
He'll never tell you, but I will.
Tiana, don't.
Diana paused, casting a forlorn gaze in Ray's direction. I'm not letting you walk twice. She turned back to Ink and continued, seemingly unperturbed. What an interesting music choice right here. I'm not sure what he told you about his past, Ink, but I'm sure he was happy to omit his arson streak.
Arson? For real?
It's the reason we broke up. The real reason. Ray was looking to approach a committee called the Bellbridge University Sponsorship. It's hard to do that with a lisp. Sponsorship Council to fund an algorithm he was working on.
RN, an advanced research algorithm or something along those lines.
How do you delay everything and then have advanced? Come on.
So then he definitely fired.
That's the one. But Ray was hesitant to part with his precious algorithm. The council was was run by a handful of professors, but he didn't want to share RN with just anybody. So he did some digging. Could he trust these people?
They were garbage. Nearly all of them. Extortion, bigotry, embezzlement. It made me sick.
Yeah. Instead of reporting them to the police like a normal person, you had to go all vigilante and burn their flippin' property down.
I respect that.
Was it some warped sense of justice, or did you just want to bring successful people down to your level?
Is this true, Ray? What's Tiana saying? Oh.
Yes. I torched 3 buildings, almost 4. Oh my god. This is jumping the shark. 2 of them were at their homes. One of them was the bookstore.
My bookstore?
One was that bookstore you liked.
That was you?
The owner took advantage of a few of his students. That's all I'm gonna say. That was shocking enough that I paused when I was talking.
Jeez, I had no idea he was even on that council. My father was on that council too. Were you the...
Yeah, that was...
I was in the house that night. I could have died.
I didn't know. I figured if anyone inside, they'd be able to make it out without it. It was a big house, tons of windows.
I was blind. Oh wait, that was the wrong voice. Oops.
I didn't know that, obviously.
No, that was the right voice.
Oh. I thought it was a little deep. If someone had tipped off our security, we wouldn't have had the extra personnel to chase you off. You could have killed me.
I'm sorry. It was a mistake. I didn't want to hurt anyone. I just wanted to drive those people out of the council. To give them enough other stuff to deal with that they drop out.
Bullwinkle. You said you wanted to cure them of their materialism. How sick in the head do you have to be to say something like that?
Communist.
Robin Hood.
Hold on a sec. He told you about his arson spree?
No, he was spending a few nights out suspiciously late, so I decided to do a little digging of my own. I thought he'd been cheating on me. I would never have imagined the truth would be so much worse. As if destroying someone's home wasn't rotten enough, he was even heartless enough to kill.
So it's true then? You ended up killing someone?
It ain't like that. I always made sure no one would get hurt, but... That's when they're part of the equation.
I know.
I
Good
was
animals.
Right, yeah.
Oh.
It was after his 3rd fire that I was able to piece everything together. The years we'd spent together no longer mattered. I knew I had to make him pay for what he'd done.
But for all your posturing, you didn't go to the cops either. You did the pettiest thing possible and took RN from me.
I may not have gone to the police, but I did have the foresight to tip off the Thatcher residence and prevent any more damage.
But like... Why didn't you go to the police?
That's a good point.
Prison wasn't good enough. I wanted him to feel the loss that he had inflicted upon those men and women. I wanted him to feel as betrayed as I did.
So she's doing her own vigilante justice kind of
Pretty
thing?
much, yeah.
Besides, there wouldn't be enough evidence. There's never really enough evidence to prove somebody of arson unless you have actual video proof that they burnt the place down.
Thanks for the idea.
I was just saying, you literally burn all the evidence away. They can prove it's arson, but it's hard to prove who did it.
Oh, and that's why he couldn't prove that RN was his. You'd have just ratted him out to the police if he'd spoken out against you. And vice versa. He'd have spilled the beans about your plagiarism if you later approached the police. You had knives at each other's throats.
Like any happy couple.
I'd never have imagined any of this. You both seem so normal, I guess.
This is what happens when you deal with Ray. He's a sociopath who brings out the worst in people. No one else here could kill someone and act so normal afterwards. If this doesn't convince you that Ray is responsible for Beth's death, I don't know what will.
Not the man I was all those years ago. Beth was a good person. I didn't kill her.
Then who did?
I stand by what I said. It had to have been Aether.
Are we gonna have to choose between Tiana and Aether?
Are they gonna
Ray.
let us make that big of a decision?
Leave me out of this. I'm telling you, it was Tiana.
Tiana.
Oh, I forgot that's me. I go over Ray's irrational criminal history and you still don't believe me? Are we gonna have to make a decision between the three? Do you think?
I guess. We're gonna have our own court case. Urgh! Everyone just...
You laughed at
Arg!
Arg, matey.
It was so bad, alright. Oh, whatever. Urgh! Fuck. Urgh! Everyone just shut up for a second. I can't concentrate with everyone yelling at me.
Why are we detective? Like, no one else is gonna take charge?
We're the book
Yes,
nerd,
of
I guess
course.
we're...
Guess so.
I mean, you chose that in freaking chapter 1.
Hey, say your line again.
Yes, of course.
So everyone's given their side of the story. But who did it? Who do I believe? Ink, can we step aside for a moment? What about the others?
We're going to kill each other while you're all talking in the corner, if that's what you're worried about.
Fine. I don't know how long we'll be, so you might as well get comfy.
I'd rather not. With that, Tiana retreated to the corner of the room, putting her back to the far wall.
So what do you think? I don't think there are significant enough holes in any of their stories to name a culprit. None that I've noticed, anyway.
Think that's why Sean killed himself? Flippin' he did it.
Too much guilt. Nope, you're right. I don't think we've got an airtight case against any of them. Do you have any outstanding thoughts on any of the three specifically? Tiana strikes me as the most enigmatic of the three. I was starting to like her, but I ultimately don't know very much about her. Everything she said sounded sensible, but I don't know. Something about her still doesn't feel quite right. What's weird to me is that she thinks that Ray is the culprit and not Aether. If you look at the facts, Aether is definitely the most suspicious of the three. But rather than hard facts, Tiana's accusation is based on character. Do you think she's blinded by revenge? I'll ignore that comment for now.
Okay.
Anyway, when there aren't enough facts to go off of, I don't think it's unreasonable to accuse someone based on past experiences. Maybe. Evidence is still king, though. Man, I still can't believe Ray burned down Bellbridge Books. You think that's bad? I just learned that Ray nearly killed me a few years ago. I thought I trusted him, but I'm not so sure anymore. Why would he want to kill Beth, though? Doesn't make any sense.
She chopped off his arm.
Why would any of them want to kill Beth?
Because she chopped off Ray's arm.
I don't think motive is something we'll be able to figure out right now. We'll have to focus on means and opportunity instead.
Need motive.
Speaking of which, I know. Aether had the best opportunity. She had the biggest window to carry out the crime. I really don't want it to be her. Me neither.
Henry's talking to himself.
Yeah,
You now
I'm
notice.
pretty used to it.
I just realized that.
Pretty used to it. Should we have a discussion, buddy?
No. Come on. Moving on.
That's another video topic.
If it wasn't Aether, the culprit would have had to be really quick or really lucky to sneak into Beth's room undetected. Well, maybe they had some help.
It was Tiana and Sean, there's his name.
If the murderer somehow knew that the earthquake was coming, they could have planned around it. That's a big if. Is it? The earthquake staggered us, but we didn't even fall down, you know? If someone had known it was going to happen, I bet they could have moved between rooms while it was going off. Even if that is true, how do we prove that someone knew about the earthquake? I don't know, okay? I'm just trying to help.
Thanks.
I'm trying to look at this from every angle, cover every possibility. Chill, I'm not trying to attack your theory specifically. Playing devil's advocate helps me think through things. I'm aware that I can't afford to dismiss everything. There's too much online. The World Wide Web.
Thanks.
The Reddit has all the answers already. You mean on the line? Listen, it's been a long day.
He sighed, pinching the bridge of his nose. What?
I
Why did he? Okay. I get it now. Pinching the bridge of his nose as if it would suddenly spur him awake.
I'm pinching. Nothing's happening.
It didn't.
So what else have you got? Is there anything else you think I'm overlooking? There's one thing, yeah. I hate to bring this up, but we can't leave Sean out of the equation. It could have been him too. I know. At the same time, even if it was him, there's not much we can do about it. He'd have had the same alibi as Tiana, plus he went and sacrificed himself shortly after. Is it just me, or did Beth seem a little suspicious of him? Sean, that is. I think you're imagining things, though. I think she knew someone was going to come after her.
Ink reached into his jacket pocket and ran his fingers across Beth's letter, if only to make sure it was still there.
At the very least, she suspected it. Then why didn't she say anything about it? I don't know. But I trust Beth. If she knew something, I bet there was a good reason for not sharing it with us. I hope you're right.
The room quieted down as the contestants chewed on their thoughts.
We've gone over so many details, but I don't feel like we've made any actual progress towards finding the killer. Why does it feel like we're going in circles? And why is my heart beating so quickly? Ugh, I'm never gonna solve it at this rate. So, I never asked. Now that we've gone over everything, do you think you know who it was?
Ah, fudge.
Oh, fudge.
Oh, Aether.
Judge Inc. is in session. Okay, let's go over the
The judge doesn't determine guilt.
Bum bum. It's law
I was
and
going-
order,
I was going-
everybody.
Judge Judy time. Let's go.
Law and Order's better, kid.
Judge
Well,
doesn't determine
I've never seen
guilt.
Judge Judy. That's just the bit I was going for.
Judge Judy's pretty good. Highly suggest it.
Ew.
And, alright, Aether, Ray, Ty, and Sean.
I mean,
If Sean would have left that room at any point, Tiana would have said something. So we
Oh,
can
you think-
rule
you
Sean
think-
out.
You think she would have been all like, well, Sean just left me, like,
Yeah,
10 seconds, you know?
without a doubt.
yeah, and
Hmm.
she said they weren't separated in general.
Yeah. Unless
I mean-
they were in cahoots.
Look at this logically.
Are you gonna
Hmm.
finish that sentence?
Aether.
Okay.
Like I said earlier, Aether. It's the only really logical option.
Unless Sean was so overcome with guilt that he, offed himself.
But
In
that's
the-
why.
in the gas
Tiana would
chamber.
have said something.
Well, that's why these two are. I mean, with the collaboration thing, that's why it would have been these two corroborating.
Right. Ray, I mean, he can, like, lockpick, I guess.
Yeah, but
So he would have been able to open the door.
flip, he has one hand. How's he gonna lockpick with one hand?
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh, shit.
How is he
you're
gonna
right.
lift a
I kinda
painting
want-
over his head to smash it on the person with only one hand?
There's something I kind of want to point out real quick, and it's kind of pointless. But if you take the first letter of everybody's name that's on screen in order, it spells farts.
Okay, alright.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Thank you, Alex, for
If you rearrange it a certain way, it says rats. It was the rats who did it.
Or star. Oh boy.
A star.
We're the star of the show, guys. Kill
Yeah.
me. You guys want to pick
Right.
Aether?
Yeah.
I do.
I don't think it'll be Aether, but
I think they want us to think it's Aether. It's actually the person we least suspected.
I really think it's just these two corroborating.
Well, we can't. We can only pick
Yeah.
one.
Well, I want to pick two. So, just Aether.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Alright.
Wait, do I say this?
This is creepy.
Think it's.
I don't
yeah,
know if I
what
say
it
that or
is.
not.
Is it voice, dude? I'm just gonna.
Voice dude,
The
not
game
sent.
is confirming that we were right.
I'm just gonna. It was Aether. That's what I think, anyway. Oh, it was him. Fine.
Nobody asked you. Be quiet.
Shaking his head in an attempt to drive me out, Ink refocused on the Oh, drive me out, I forgot it's in his perspective. Ink refocused
dear.
on the person in front of him.
No, sorry. I don't know who did it. I can't even narrow it down to 2 people. Are they working for Scent? Is Scent working for them? I have no idea. I'm at a loss for what to do. We just don't have enough evidence. That's never stopped you before, though. You didn't have any concrete evidence when you first discovered that Scent was speaking to us in real time. Yeah, but that wasn't real detective work, just a cheeky trick. Who's to say you couldn't do something like that again? Aside from possibly the culprit themselves, you know more about exit corners than anyone here. Maybe you can leverage that knowledge and trick the murderer into revealing something.
Roll credits.
Knowing more knowing more than anyone else is hardly an accomplishment. I mean, look at all the good it's done us. All I've ever done is delay the inevitable. Face it, Liza, I'm useless.
Why are we having an existential crisis right now?
Yeah.
Not the time.
Oh, don't give me that crap.
This is Henry's inner monologue any day of the week.
It's literally me monologuing. It's not a dialogue, I'm the one talking. I may not like you, but I know you can do
What
this.
do you mean you don't like us? I thought we were smashing.
Oh,
The heck, Liza?
well, that just kind of confirms it. Now I don't want to play again.
Oh, never mind. She's right here. We're gonna make out.
Oh.
She grabbed him by the collar and stuck her face not an inch away from his own.
Oh. You've got nearly 24 hours worth of events to rummage through. You've got your Gemini. You've got me. Right? Stop being so mopey. I'm not letting you just give up.
It was a strangely invigorating gesture. It was as if she were lending him some of her grit.
Right, you're right.
Now we're bumping. She finally let him go when she could see his panic dissipate.
All I need is one thing. One good lead, that's it.
His brain running on fumes, Ink closed his eyes and reached through his memory. He had to try. He thought back on his time in the 4 elements, on the 5 original contestants, the 2 new ones, and the cybernetic mastermind behind it all. He thought back on the puzzles, and the trials and traps that stood in his way, and the negative space required to overcome them. He thought back on his Gemini, on the messages Sean sent him, and the ones sent him. Sent.
Sense.
Hey, there's your title, buddy.
Too meta, alright. Wait a sec.
Ink fumbled for his Gemini, nearly dropping it in the process. He scrolled through his message history until he found what he was looking for. It was as he'd remembered, the tiniest of hints, but a hint nonetheless.
Hey, Liza. You think of something? You still have a pen and paper in that bag of yours, right? Yup, some envelopes and flashcards too, but what's it for? I'll need 3 pens and 3 flashcards. We're going all in. Busting out the poker terms, are we? This must be the real deal.
Liza fished out the goods in seconds. Ink grabbed them from her as he made his way to the center of the room.
Those are finally some.
Hey everyone, we're done talking. Come on over to the bar.
Let's have a drink. Ray, who was really only a few paces away from Ink, pivoted in his chair to face him.
So you figure out who it was?
So do you figure out who it was?
So did she...
I know it's
right?
like so did you figure, but like
So-
it's just weird.
Yeah, that's weird. Something like that. I need everyone to grab one of these and one of these.
The other two reached Ink just as he was handing out the flashcards and pens. It's a weird way.
What are these for?
It's time for a pop quiz.
I don't feel comfortable doing this. This is so clearly meant to deceive us somehow.
If you're innocent, you've got nothing to worry about.
Suddenly
Funny how
silent, Tiana ripped the items out of Ink's outstretched hand.
Everyone good? I'm going to have you all write something for me.
Hang on. I'm not gonna be able to write with only my left hand. Can't even hold the paper down.
Liza, can you hold the flashcard still for Ray? Oh, fine. Will that help, Ray?
Why is she so reluctant to... Oh, I guess.
I don't know.
A little
I was going back to my sassy girl roots.
super legible.
But I don't get why she like that, though. I don't... Why would she gotta be like that, man? He lost an arm.
That'll be fine. Okay, everyone got a spot at the bar? Good. To start, can you each write your name at the top left of the card?
Full name?
Yeah, full name. Next, in the top right of the card, I'd like you to write today's date.
You mean Ma?
No talking, just write it out.
It's March. Nodding meekly, Aether returned to her sheet.
Next, below your name, I want you to write out the following question. How many contestants are there in Exit Corners?
Come on, man. Having enough trouble writing things out as it is. We have to write out that entire thing?
Just write the number.
Yeah, it's not asking for names. Sorry, you need to write the question out in full. How many contestants are there in Exit Corners?
Wait, how did they interpret it as, oh, let me write that full question that he just asked?
I mean,
He
did-
said
I think-
to write out the entire question.
He did?
Yeah, I think
Did
so.
I really just not pay any attention?
I think you
Not
did say to write out the
surprised.
question.
1 second.
Alright.
Write out the following question.
I don't know. I would still not take that as whatever, dude.
It's a little BS though, writing the whole question. Come on. Quit your whining. It's just a few words.
I lost an arm, woman.
I mean, maybe she's like sassy because he almost burned her house down. I guess.
That's fair.
I mean, that's fair.
Alright. We're almost done, I promise. Finally, well, you've probably guessed it. Just answer the question. Print the number below the question itself.
Ink waited a moment for the group to write their answers and put their pens down. Done.
Me too.
Same. Don't say I didn't warn you.
That's it then. Hand me your papers.
Ink took their flashcards and set them down on a nearby table. Aether Irving. It's like Kyrie.
Her last name is Tran.
Alright, Aethers is a day ahead. Why did they write theirs like it's British? What's that about?
What do you mean?
Day, month, year, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's not British, it's AP.
I don't care. Not the American way.
She wrote out March. Who else would do that? I mean, come on, man. It's a robot.
How many? Okay.
She said exit/corners. She's the only one to do that. It's kind of cute.
How many contestants are playing exit corner /
Oh yeah,
right now?
hers is the only one that says slash.
What were Ink's exact? I assume Ink said do exit/corners, right?
I mean, the whole chapter's named slash. I bet that has something to do with it.
I mean,
that's a good point.
Maybe it's a little bit.
Well, let's consider the number.
7, 6, and 5.
Well, she's the only one that answered that question right because it says R. As in right now, there's only 5 of them left.
Why are you?
I don't even know what Ray was thinking with the 6.
So
not many. How many contestants have played?
Yeah, it's R.
Well,
R playing.
Let's analyze differences real fast. So we got this.
Exit slash.
We got these are the same, and then this is different. These are the same, and then all of these are different. So these two are the only people without something in common. I don't know if that means anything, but probably.
Is she saying 7 because?
That's how many were there altogether.
Either 2 people. Either. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Checks out.
Good to move on.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Sure.
All right. Did we know any of their names, by the way, before this?
We knew Ray and Hamden. We didn't know either of the other last names.
Aether Irving. Tiana Tran. What does that say? Trar?
Tran.
I think it's Tran, but I don't.
Okay.
I ain't very good at cursive. I don't think Ray ever mentioned Tiana's last name.
Yeah, no one did.
So, I was right.
Ink took another moment to scan the cards.
I didn't expect them to be so different from one another.
Did you find what you were looking for?
I think I did. There's one key detail here that suggests to me that one of you knows more than you're letting on.
The date is different.
That too. What about you, huh? Did you figure it out?
I'd gotten so wrapped up in what was going on that it took me a moment to realize that Ink had directed that last question to me.
I know you're there. Humor me, will you? Do you know what I was referring to? What element stands out as suspicious?
Fudge.
It's their dates.
You really think it's the date?
No.
I mean, their names is the only non-obvious one.
Yeah. The questions, like the chapter's called slash. I really think it has something to do with Tiana's has a slash and theirs don't.
You think it's this? I mean, fudge. I just think it's their names, just because that is the only one we really don't know. But that means we shouldn't know it, right? So it shouldn't be their names.
So you're saying the dev didn't establish their name, so it shouldn't be a clue at all?
Well, I don't think we know Aether Irving. Tiana Tran, I don't know if we should know Tran.
I think I would have made a joke about the
Transvestite or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know if her last name came about. And I also don't think Ray and Tiana were ever married, so I don't think they took each other's names.
So
They
why
were.
would Aether's date be a day ahead? Because does she think it's
Yeah.
like past midnight, I guess? And that's like, oh, it's March 21st.
Yeah, that would mean she has a sense of time. Sure, the only clock is the one that's counting down.
Are we ruling out their answers, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Ray's was a complete fluke. Like, 6?
Either their questions or their dates, I think. I think it's because like she's all clairvoyant. That's like, oh, it's 12:01. You know, oh, it's March
Yeah.
21st.
That's probably all it is. So, I mean, I'm narrowing it down to, I guess, I mean, this is just me, but probably this one.
Okay, go ahead.
Are you guys good with that?
I'm not gonna argue, but I think it's wrong, but I'm not.
Wait, what were you thinking?
I still think it's the dates, but yeah, I'm not gonna argue if you guys will.
Well, the clairvoyance makes sense. It's sound logic, unless you have a better.
Well, I guess I remember I've never trusted Aether from the beginning, so
That's fair. You guys want to go
Just-
with questions?
go ahead.
Yeah.
They're questions, of course. You insisted that they spell out in full, after all. In fact, I think I see where you were getting at.
Good observation.
Okay.
Wait, pause.
Pause.
Wait. Pause.
I have one thing to mention
Full stop.
before we continue. If you scroll back through the dialogue
Do you want me to?
and look at what Ink said, Chris, can you do that? Scroll back a bit, and when Ink is giving the direction,
I don't know.
Oh,
where
that's
we are
way
here.
back.
Oh, my bad. Wait.
Yeah,
Where am
keep
I?
going.
I have to go way back. Okay,
Keep
my bad.
going.
I got confused.
There we go.
He
Right
did say
there.
exit flashcards.
he says, "How many contestants are there in Exit Corner?"
"Oh, not our
That's-
playing."
Yeah, they all wrote "are playing." They all wrote it wrong.
Hold on a second.
That's interesting.
It's a little bit of an oopsie right there.
Huh. How lovely.
Well, they all had something in common, I guess.
Ink turned to his fellow contestants.
First of all, thanks for cooperating. I don't like having to boss people around.
So what's with the questionnaire? How many contestants are there in X/Corner? Were you counting Beth? Sean? You still put 6!
Oh, that's irrelevant. As some of you may have already guessed, the answer isn't what's important here. Most of what I had you write served as a distraction. Your names? Interesting, maybe, but I don't have any way to verify that you're telling the truth. The date? I see 2 different answers here, so at least one of you is wrong. But I don't care that you've gotten something wrong. What bothers me is what you've gotten right. So tell me, Tiana, how did you know there was a slash in Exit Corners? That's the name of the game, of course. Thing is, we've only ever heard the name. We've never seen it written.
Ooh.
We've only ever said Exit Corners amongst ourselves. Not Exit or Corners, or Exit slash Corners.
Roll credits.
Meta humor. Again.
The only way you'd have known there was a slash in the name is if you'd seen it written.
Well, how do you know there's a slash? How do you know there's a slash? Sorry. Ink flashes Gemini in Tiana's direction.
A little bird told me. Did you kill Beth?
I knew Seth had a bad idea.
So you are part of this.
Fucking serious? This is what I get for putting my faith in you? I'm mad that it's not Aether. I'm not letting you get away with this.
Everyone, get ready to grab her. We'll need to tie her up with something. Not sure what, but let's get her pinned.
Ink took a cautious step towards her, the others following suit. Oh, Ink? I'd like to see you try.
Oh, she's a cyborg. Oh no. God damn it.
With a burst of energy that surprised even him, Ink leapt at Tiana, arms outstretched in front of him. Fast though he was, Tiana was faster still, and she was off in full sprint before Ink even got close. Between the bar's fixtures and the other contestants, she was relatively boxed in. Rather than outmaneuver the others, she opted to charge at full speed. Directly towards Aether. Aether went for a grab as Tiana got close, but with a last minute swivel, that's a good animation. But with a
Yeah, I know.
swivel to the left.
Let me move the standing animation one frame closer.
Look how much closer I am.
Oh man. Alright.
But with a last minute swivel to the left, Tiana nimbly avoided her grasp. As she... Oh, fudge.
Pirouade.
Pirouade?
I don't know. Pirouetted?
Pirouetted around Aether's lunge. She fished for something that had been tucked in her corset. Corsage.
Wait, Tiana's not avoiding her. She's... No!
It was over before it began.
Nani.
She's got a fat face, see that?
Yeah.
She's tubby, eating too much.
Look at those glasses.
Okay, let her die.
Ugh.
Okay, sorry.
So,
I mean, this is probably the end of the... Wait, we didn't even do a flipping puzzle.
The
no.
entire thing was a puzzle.
We didn't solve anything.
Got a point. Detectiving is a puzzle.
I gotta be... They look like kids. Like, she looks like a little kid.
They do, yeah, that's weird.
And she's fat and being bullied in middle school.
That's-
Nobody flippin' move. I have a manly voice now. Tiana gripped the shard of glass so tightly that it was slicing her own hand. She seemed unfazed by it.
Damn it! She must have pocketed it from the scene of the crime. Let her go, or...
Or what?
Apparently.
You've got no leverage here.
Yeah.
Listen well. Aether will be coming with me. I'd prefer her alive, but I'll cart her corpse around if I have to.
Ink,
Hang on, Aether. We'll think of something.
No, you won't. You're gonna do as I say, or I will hurt her.
Oh, please do. Always the sweet talker, huh?
What are your demands?
You're going to leave the Four Elements Hotel.
That's what we...
We were this close to finishing the game, but you all had to keep derailing it in the most aggravating ways possible. So you know what? This game is over. Sent! Yes? I don't remember the voice.
I mean, depends if he's happy
Patrick
noodle or
Warburton.
sad or whatever.
I don't remember the voice.
That's pretty close.
Is it? Doesn't feel close.
Yeah,
I mean-
that's it.
Maybe a little deeper, that... I mean...
I'll figure
course-
it out. Don't worry.
Of course he's watching. He's always watching.
You're going to open the exit. They don't need the key cards anymore. Just let them leave. Of course.
So he takes orders from you, huh?
You're a fool if you think
Fudge.
I'm going to stand here and answer your questions.
everyone, please escape while you still can.
Shut your mouth and stop squirming so much. Come, we're leaving. Let's take a look at that head of yours. Sent, unlock this door for us. As you wish.
RN is sent.
Oh.
Hmm.
And with that...
That's why
gone.
Ray could manipulate the code.
And with that, they were gone, retreating deeper into the labyrinthine hotel. End of chapter. Oh, mamacita. We figured it
boy.
out. We chose correctly.
Yeah.
I was wrong, and I admit that.
I mean, you're usually wrong. It's okay.
Shall
I mean,
we go
you
back
guys
to
chose
chapter
Aether,
22?
Yeah, you got one thing. How many times have you guessed some weird? Aether's a cyborg.
I did not say cyborg.
I'm sorry.
Robot.
Robot.
I said robot.
Oh boy. Yeah, you're.
You guys should check out the trust
Just check out
and
that
the
first.
password.
Oh, it's probably at 0 for that one chick.
What the flip?
What the fuck?
Is that how it's supposed to look?
It can't be. It's covering up Beth's face.
We really just don't want to look at Beth.
I think it's just a busted system.
Wait, is that what yours looks like, Matt?
No, mine glitched.
What does yours look
Like-
like?
So you see where the ether bar starts?
Yes.
Yeah.
It starts there, and then it's continuing right. It's white all the way off the screen.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, like
Very
across Beth, and it just keeps going right off.
Aether has never trusted anyone more than she trusts you. Wait, Alex,
She
what
doesn't
about
even trust herself.
Mine is where it was right before you guys like started 25.
Flippin' buggy game, dude.
Busted.
Like I sent Matt a picture of it.
Password.
This is the password future
Password.
us if we require it.
I mean, are we playing a second chapter tonight?
What time? It's 11:20. That took forever.
Well, we
to
had
be
a little bit of
fair-
an intermission.
Yeah. Sorry.
Do we have a discussion?
27. We should have a discussion, yes.
Discussion
That'd be
time.
really nice.
That just
Let's discuss. Alright.
So, Brian,
Well-
how does it feel to be wrong?
I mean,
You're used
I'm
to
still
it.
trying to figure out whether this game is really smart or extremely dumb.
It's linear.
But I think it's floating towards the smart part right now. I mean, the story, not like the puzzles and stuff.
Well, we didn't even get one that time, which I'm pretty,
Yeah.
you know.
Hmm.
Wait,
Yeah.
Like-
wait.
Oh, we need to speculate why that one chick would make sense, or maybe she didn't intend, you know what
Well, I
I'm saying,
mean,
like, she
Brian-
have control over stuff.
Brian's theory was that RN was sent, right?
Just more advanced.
But why would she turn it into like a obstacle labyrinthine mansion thing, you know?
And why would she kill Beth?
That too.
What has old Bethany had to do with this?
What did Bethany know?
Also,
I don't
probably
know.
in that
Maybe
flippin'
she's
letter.
playing. Maybe she's playing vigilante now.
I find it relatively difficult to believe that Ink stepped up and then she zoomed away. Like, oh, she's too fast. Aether, watch out.
I just like the one frame and it's so like, you know, they could have done like an artsy one where it's like, it's her dashing towards Aether or something, and then the picture they showed.
Just teleport her over there.
I think that would have been a little bit better, visuals than what I saw.
It was a lot funnier.
It was funnier, yeah, definitely was.
You're talking about a game that uses the same 25 different pictures for everything.
Hey, there was a special one where they looked like fat children at the end.
Aether always looks horrible in those.
She only has a fat face.
Fat face.
Like, that's the
bothered me
funny
no more.
thing. She only has to. Like, the rest of her body's not fat, but then her face is like. You guys couldn't see the motion I just made with my hand.
No,
Like, she just-
luckily you gave us sound effects though.
You know those Airhead commercials?
Yeah.
Airhead just swells up every time she eats one of those candy bars in one of those scenes.
Maybe it's just the camera adding 15 pounds.
The camera does add weight, probably.
This is the most interesting discussion we've had for this game.
Yeah. Are we good though?
I'm just kind of glad that it didn't lead to another Henry. Gosh darn it, all Brian was right again. I hate this game.
I mean, Brian's been correct once.
I mean, he was correct in saying that Scent was an AI and Liza being blind.
That wasn't
So
hard.
I know, but like, still.
Also, we
Well,
said
it's just that he was able to figure it out so early that, you know, like 10 chapters in the future, it turned out he was right. Like,
yeah, but then he says, you know, Aether isn't a human being, so then it's like,
Well, that was just a far-fetched. I
Was
admitted
it?
to that being a very far-fetched theory.
you held
When I
on to
said
it
it.
for multiple episodes.
But I
We got
did
the
admit
tapes.
to it being very far-fetched, and we can go back and look at that.
Mm-hmm. You seemed pretty helpful.
I was hopeful that it was right, but I admitted to it being probably wrong.
Ah, well. Okay.
Getting chopped out.
It's an hour and 38 minutes.
God damn it.
Dear God.